Welcome back to Facing the Crowd. We're chatting to Yamkel Kiviet. He is the founder and owner of KIV Projects. Now, Yamkel, looking back at your childhood, what was your upbringing like?
I was born in a small town in the Eastern Cape called Mount Fair, in a location called Semini location.
Okay.
For a huge chunk of my life, I was raised by my grandmother, but with amazing grandmother, and I had an amazing mother, you know, that they were present in my life. But obviously my mom had to work for a while, and while she was going to work, I had to stay with my grandmother. But the upbringing, you know, I always say that there's nothing extraordinary. It's an upbringing of most South Africans, where my father was absent, you know, my biological father was absent from birth, you know, and the only difference with me is that in that town, my father was a very popular and well-off man, you know, and I knew that he was my father, you know. The challenge there was that in knowing him, I had to come to a point that maybe I was on earth to know that he exists, so that he becomes far inspiration on what I want to achieve on a material basis, you know. So that's how I identified. I never identify him as a bad man. I never identify him as a good man. If my father had not been absent from my life in my childhood, I would have not been the success that I am today. At home, there used to be a rule, if awufundi Bible, which is if you're not reading the Bible, if you're not washing the car, if you are not planning something that is productive, then you will not have allowance money. So what I used to do so that I'd have more allowance at school than other kids is I'd read the Bible a bit more. and I'd wash the car, you know. And when I'd go to school and other kids' allowances and their money at break, I'd still have money because I really read the Bible, you know. And I think it helped me. Those things helped me, and that upbringing helped me because even in reading the Bible, there were certain principles that I really, really learned, you know, that made my thinking capacity a bit, and I won't say better, a bit more informed than an average person my age, because now I have been imparting my mind with so much knowledge from that book, you know. And
then you dabbled in singing. So, I mean, where did that transition come from?
I wanted to be a lawyer. And then in grade 11 at the school that I used to be in, they used to have this thing called career guidance type of thing. And then they told me that there's a lot of reading involved. And I realized that there's a lot of reading involved. And then I was like, do I want to read a lot or the reading didn't pass. I was already reading the Bible a bit too much, so I was okay.
Who would you say have had the biggest influences on your life to date? I mean, you mentioned your mom as well as both your dads. Anyone else in particular?
My grandmother. Wow. That woman is one of the strongest women I know. It was the funniest thing that in our household, there would be so many people of different surnames, but they would all be in one house, you know. And I found that so amazing about her. And the way she, you know, my grandmother, she was so, the way she used to beat me up, you know, it was so inspirational when I...
Please explain, because we know that corporal punishment and disciplining is not allowed anymore.
My grandmother had this way of beating me up, which was so different from other African grandmothers, you know. She used to beat me up, and then really beat me up, you know, after I've done something wrong. And then after that, she will call me to the lounge. Ati, Sozulu, kozohlala pha ecakwami mntanami. And then she would hug me.
And what
then,
translated means?
She would be saying Sozulu, which is isithakazelo, which is, I don't know how to call it in English, but it's something that they use. It's some sort of a praise. And then she would be saying, come sit next to me, you know. And then she would just start explaining, Ugoti, when I was beating you up, this is what I was trying to instill in you. And I think that's why I never even started to view it as, you know, I always knew that after I get beat up, you know, sometimes I'd even want to get beat up, because after getting beaten up, she would do so many nice things afterwards. Like she would buy me sweets and all those things. So I'd see that, let me just do something, Yana, that's a bit wrong, so that I'll get a bit
attention. Wow. Now, we spoke to your colleagues, but we also managed to speak to a few people who know you on the more personal side, and this is what they had to say.
Hi, I'm Sibongile Mutloung. I'm Yamkela's aunt.
Hi, I'm Luto Matlekwana. I'm Yamkela's brother.
He's a very determined person. He's a very driven person. As a boy at home, I think he's like other kids. He plays around. He likes to joke a lot. Yeah, there's never a dull moment with him in the house. You can laugh the whole night with him around. But one thing I've noticed with him growing up, what he's very, very determined. And there's like that thing that sort of pushes him. So one gets worried because it's like he doesn't rest. It's like, you know, when somebody's always in a rush, like you won't find him sitting down. You won't find him not doing anything. He's always got something in his mind and it needs to be done. There's nothing that he leaves for tomorrow.
He's a hustler. I can just describe him in that word. He's a hustler of note. He hustles. He gets what he wants when he wants it. So he's very determined. I'm very inspired by him. He knows. So one of the reasons why I'm actually also venturing into business is I'm seeing how he's just growing rapidly. He's just so courageous. Like, I can spend the whole day actually describing him. He's a cool guy, down to earth. I love him, man. Too much love there, too much love.
It was like other kids, yeah. I think, I know my mother used to complain a lot. He would like to jump into bed. Like when all the kids go to sleep, then he'll find his way in my mother's bed and he'll be sleeping by my mother's feet and all of that. But very nice, very sweet as well, very, very sweet.
Growing up, just like other kids growing up in the Eastern Cape at Mount Frere, you know, going to play Kalini, you know, bicycles, making them with those fence thingies. We'd go to those shops and buy amaskopas. And Ugogo didn't like us to eat amaskopas because the vessel was goodies. But we were mischievous, man. Boys. We were just boys.
It amazes me. It amazes me, and at the same time, I'm very, very proud of what he's achieved. I see the favor of God in his life. And it's one of those things where you see, there's nothing impossible in life. If you want to do something, if you want to achieve something, it is doable. And one thing I like with Yamkel, if this does not work out today, it's not like, okay, it's all done. You know, tomorrow he'll be trying something else. And whatever he tries, he puts his energy behind it. He works for it.
I've learned that no matter how young you are, you can achieve what you want to achieve. He's 23, but he's done so much for his age. And I always tell him that it's the one thing that amazes people when he's like, no, I'm 23. I was like, dude, how did you do it? And people don't know that he started venturing into business when he was 17, when he was still in high school. he started a Christian publication. It was a magazine that did very well in PMB, when I was doing PMB in high school. So he has traveled. It's been a long journey. It's been a long journey.
Obviously, entering into the world of entrepreneurship has its ups and downs and challenges as well as highs that come along with the journey. What would you say are some of the biggest challenges you face in the world of business? How did you overcome them?
I think the biggest challenge that I faced, which was the first challenge, is entering into a market. Entering is one of the biggest things, because when you enter into the market, especially for me, you have to do a whole lot of things free. A lot of people say that they don't know what you're worth, they don't know what you can do, and you find that you invest more than what you get back. And that was a big challenge for me, because I like how another speaker defines it. You find that you've got too much month left at the end of the month. And
Yes.
you find that you have more expenses than you had money come into the business, you know. And those were the challenges that I really faced. And I always say this, that there is no bypass route to it, except consistency in effort, even when results are inconsistent. As an entrepreneur, I don't always wake up every day and my account is healthy. Someday I wake up and my account is not on point. And what keeps me going is consistency, even in times when the results are not inconsistent, when the results are inconsistent.
What would you say has been one of the biggest challenges or limitations within yourself that you've had to overcome along your journey this far?
There's one business which I could say I destroyed it myself. Obviously, after working so hard, you sometimes get tempted to not separate your business and your personal life. So you end up struggling to separate that the business has its own life financially and I have my own life financially. So what then happens is that you end up now being tempted when the money is coming in, that there is money coming into the business. With one business, I literally used to use that business's card to go out all the time, you know? And as a result, in that business, I had a few other partnerships that were going around it, and the partners started seeing that, and I lost that business, you know. So it's always a principal thing for young entrepreneurs, is that you need to understand that it's a business, it's its own life, it's got a business account, you know, and then you are your own life. You comply of your family, you have the people that depend on you. There is its own life that is there, you know. And if you fail to divide this, you will end up getting stuck in a trap of a business that cannot expand, and that remains a survivalist business. What has made me able to venture into different things? Most of my businesses don't even link. My staff at a restaurant deal with my restaurant staff. My other businesses that I deal with that, and whoever helps me deal with that, they deal with that. All of my businesses have a different life. And the principle that has allowed me to do that, or has allowed me, is that I understand that these things have two different lives. And if I want all these things to be one life, I will end up either compromising my family or either compromising my business.
You're a firm believer in giving back and helping those in need. I mean, what are some of those charity projects or endeavors you've been working on?
So I don't do your typical thing of going there, handing a check, and someone takes a picture of me. I don't believe in it. I believe that it's good when you can do it, you know. But I believe in a principle of I've mentioned my very firm Christian background. I am a firm believer in the importance of wisdom and imparting wisdom. So a lot of my of my giving back is when I go to places and I speak and I impart wisdom. And then people catch on to the wisdom that I'm speaking, and then someone comes to me and then they say that, Yamkel, I've got an idea of a car wash, and I need someone to help me start it off and get it off the ground. I need this much money. And then I say that I'm not going to give you the whole money up front, but show me your business plan and let's work together and make it a reality. I believe that is a more sustainable way of saving someone, because even when you are dead, that person will still be able to sustain themselves.
What does the future hold for Yamkela? What does the future hold for KIV projects at large?
So we're busy with this spot here, Esbayeni Mid Lounge, which is here in Malvo, where we are right now. We're busy with a spot in Maboneng. And after Maboneng, I recently, last week, also signed to be part of a deal where we'll be doing nappies for babies, and I'm really excited about that. Also, we'll be embarking in that, and yeah, but more than anything, the business is gonna expand to different areas, to different fields, and the vision behind that is that I always say that it's so that I create multiple streams of income. But even for I have a strong vision of a family business, you know, and I may never know if in my family there'll be an IT person, you know. If there's a struggle for jobs in IT, they must be able to find themselves a position in my IT business, you know, and be able to deliver their capabilities. So there's still a lot that we're gonna do, a lot that we are opening, yeah.
Thank you for making time to chat to us about and share your story, and we wish you all the best with your future endeavors.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, they say intelligence without ambition is like a bird without wings. That is all we have for you this week. From myself, Lisa Wilson, and the rest of the team, it's goodbye for now.